Good afternoon, boys and girls. Today is Monday, August 31st, 2020. And today we're going to be working on Module 2, Lesson 3. So remember, our big goal is to score 100 in our end of module. And our daily goal, what we're supposed to do today, is complete our assignment and submit your work at the end of the day and score an 85 or higher. Here are the materials that you need for today's lesson. Make sure you have book number 1 ready when we start. For the video, you need book number 2. You also need for class book number 3. You need 2 pencils, white paper, any white paper you have at your house. If you still have the centimeter cube we used on Friday, perfect. If you don't have it, it's okay, boys and girls. What are the expectations for online learning? Well, remember, you always sit tall. You have all the materials ready and park. Make sure you participate by doing your work. And raise up your hand or share any ideas or concerns you may have. That you always go back to the channels or the videos for any clarifying questions. That you raise your hand using the hand icon. That you always stay on mute, and you only unmute yourself when called on. Don't forget, after being a writer, make sure you log into Hotspot because we're tracking. And don't forget, we are going to start tracking every Friday. By the end of the lesson, here's what we're going to do, boys and girls. We're going to be able to apply concepts to create unit rulers, and we're also going to measure lengths using unit rulers. Your turn to read the objective. Yes, by the end of the class, you're going to be able to apply concepts by creating a unit ruler and measure different items using that ruler. How can we do that? So remember what an endpoint is? An endpoint is where an object begins or ends. We've really been talking about estimation and estimate the length, and the length is how long an object is, by saying an approximate quantity or number. We learned what a hash mark is, and a hash mark is all the marks on a ruler or the measuring tool, because we have different measuring tools, boys and girls. Today, we're only focusing on the ruler as a measuring tool. And that tool is used to measure length. And remember, length is how long an item is. And we're focusing on one standard unit, which is the centimeter. And the centimeter is a unit that we use in the metric system. And how are we going to do that? Well, we do that by following these steps. The first step that you do is that you line the object, like in here I'm measuring a pencil. I line the ruler at the end of the end point. Look how I put that ruler where the erasure starts. Step number 2 is I mark each hash mark, and watch how I'm going to do it. I start with the first hash mark. I'm doing each hash mark where the point is. After I'm done with step number 2, I go to step number 3, which is label each hash mark with numbers. And remember, you always start with the number 0, because the distance from here to here is 1, but the 1 is at this hash mark. And the last step is that you write the estimate length of the object. In this case, I was measuring a pencil, and the pencil is about 4 centimeters. What I want you to do now is copy the key points in page 58 and book number 2. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to open book number 2. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you for being on page 58, boys and girls. What I want you to do now is copy these 4 steps. Number 1 is you line the ruler at point. Number 2 is that you make each hash mark. Step 3, you label each hash mark with the numbers. And remember, start at 0. And step number 4 is write the estimate length of an object. So what I want you to do now, pause the video and copy these 4 steps. Be honest. So pause the video. Thank you for being super mega honest and copying those key points. Here's how your key points should look like in page 58. Here's what Mrs. Bocanegra did. She opened page 58 and she copied the 4 key points. Okay. On Friday, we used the 1 centimeter cube to measure the length of different objects. So boys and girls, today I'm super mega excited because we're going to be able to create a tool that will help us measure centimeters in a more efficient way, boys and girls. We're going to create our own ruler. Way to go. First, I want you to watch how I make my centimeter ruler using the cube and the pencil and the eraser to measure and mark the centimeters on the tack board. Boys and girls, first I'm going to do it in the PowerPoint, then I'm going to show you how to do it in live. So I want you to notice how I put my cube at the end point where the tack board starts. And then I mark the end point. Watch. Then I move forward and mark again. I stop at the, look at this. Look at where the end point is and I make a hash mark. I move my centimeter cube again and I'm going to make a hash mark. And I'm going to keep on doing over and over again. I move my centimeter and make a mark. I make a hash mark. And I want you to really think about this question. I want you to notice. What did you notice about how I mark my tack board? I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think, and then I'm going to be listening to some answers. You're absolutely right, boys and girls. I didn't leave any space between the cube and the pencil mark. And I made all the spaces, look right here, I made all the spaces the same size. And I call it the mark and go forward strategy. Watch, right? Mark and go. Mark and go. Great thinking, boys and girls. Now, it's going to be your turn to take out the white piece of paper that I asked you for. If you have the centimeter cube, you're going to use the centimeter cube. If you don't have it, you're going to use a pencil. But first, let's watch how I'm going to do it in the screen. Exactly the same way that I did it when I was showing you earlier. I put my cube and then I mark. Put my cube and then I mark. Right? I mark and move forward. I mark and move forward. Okay. So we're going to complete your ruler and I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to get the materials. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to get either the centimeter cube or 2 pencils and the white paper. So 10 seconds. Go. If you have the centimeter cube, you get the centimeter cube and you put it at the end mark and you make a mark and move forward. And then I put it again, mark and move forward. Mark and move forward. Mark and move forward. That's if you have the centimeter cube. Boys and girls, I know it's a very small paper that I know some of you might have lost it over the weekend. So what I want you to do now is get a regular paper, and the eraser is about 1 centimeter. So what you can do is you can put the pencil and mark and move forward. Then I put it and and mark. And I put in, mark, and go. I'm gonna let you work independently, so please make sure right now, pause the video and make all the marks in your white paper until you're done. When you're done, come back to the video. So let me repeat the instructions. Mark all your white paper all the way until it finished. Once you finish, come back and watch the video again. Thank you for being very honest, boys and girls, and finishing making your own ruler. So let's go to the next step. Remember, boys and girls, we call the marks on the ruler hash marks. So let's count the hash marks with me. Are you ready? And go. Remember, this hash mark with 0, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, boys and girls. Remember, it's an estimate. It's about. So, it's real easy to make mistakes counting the hash marks. So, do you have any idea about how I can make this easier the next time I use my ruler? Yes, boys and girls, we can number a ruler. Great job. And remember, what unit did we use to create our rulers? We use centimeters. And how many centimeters are on the ruler? 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters, boys and girls. I want you to say that fact. 30 centimeters. A ruler is about 30 centimeters. It may be more, it may be less, because we're not using an accurate unit. If we were using the cubes, for sure, boys and girls, it was 30 centimeters. So let's number our hash marks. Remember, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to pause the video. I just noticed it was here. So I number them. I noticed I started with the number 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to pause the video and continue numbering all the different hash marks you made. Thank you, boys and girls, for writing your numbers in each hash mark. This is just going to make our measurements easier. So now we're going to practice using your rulers to measure a pen. So this is Mrs. Bocanegra's green pen, and I'm going to follow the key points. So the first thing is that I lined the ruler at the end point. So I put my pencil and I put it right here. Then I make the hash mark, which I already did. And then I write the numbers, which I already did. And then I just write the estimate. So I notice that my pen is about 17 centimeters, boys and girls. And the reason that I'm saying about is because it's not the actual measurement. We're estimating, we're guessing. The ruler is an actual estimate, and tomorrow we're going to be measuring using actual rulers. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to open your book to page 59. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. I write my name and the date because that is what I always do, and my goal, which equals Eureka, and it's scored 100, boys and girls. After I'm done writing this, I am going to read the instructions. It says, use your centimeter ruler to measure the length of the objects below. Remember, I know some of you have a ruler at home. If you want to start using it, it's okay. If not, we're using the ruler that we made. Let's read number 1. And it says, the picture of the animal track is about how many centimeters long? Remember, it's an estimate because we don't have an exact amount. So let's look at the key points. Step number 1, it says line ruler at end point. So I get my ruler and I line it at the end point. Then, step number 2, make each hash mark. So I line it and I go hash mark, hash mark, hash mark, hash mark, and hash mark. Then I label, which is step number 3, label each hash mark with the number starting at 0. So I go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the picture of the animal track, it's about, and then I just write the length, about 5 centimeters, boys and girls. And we are done. Look, we follow the key points and we were able to solve it. Let's read number 2. Remember, what I do, you do. What I write, you write. So, it says, write the picture of the turtle. The picture of the turtle is about, and remember that word about is telling us that it's an estimate. So, first thing, let's look at the key point. Key point number 1, I line it. Key point number 2, make each hash mark. Key point number 3, label each hash mark, and remember, I always start at 0. And then I just write the estimate length. And the picture of the turtle is about 7 centimeters, boys and girls. We wrote it right here. Great job, boys and girls. We just finished measuring these 2 objects, estimating the length of those 2 objects. Here's what I want you to do before we go to class. Find 2 objects. Use your ruler to measure the length of the object using the mark and go strategy, and be ready to share in class. Remember, I'm only choosing a couple of students. Here's a challenge for the day. When you go back to class, I want you to type in the chat box, did you enjoy creating your own ruler? I absolutely did. I had a lot of fun, boys and girls. Okay, and here's what you are going to submit at the end of class. I want you to pause the video so you can get your book number 3. And you're only going to submit page 47 and 48, problems 1 through 4. You're using the ruler you made in class to answer all this. Have fun measuring and learning. And don't forget to log in to your team class at 12:55 so we'll be ready to start at 1. Thank you for your hard work, boys and girls. Bye.